podcast you've been looking for all along. Step into the life of urban exploration with guests from around the world. Welcome to No Tracers. Welcome back to the No Tracers podcast. My name is Kay, just the letter K, and I am your host on this show all about urban exploration. If you're into abandoned places, this is the podcast for you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are a veteran listener, please do me a favor and leave a rating and feedback. And if you do that, take a screenshot of your rating and feedback and send it to me at no.tracers on Instagram. And I will actually send you a signed photo print as a way of thanking you for doing that. Ratings and feedback help us grow and help us find a broader audience of listeners just like you. Before we get into this episode with Abandoned Playground from Long Island, New York, I've got a couple things I got to let you know about. The first of which being, I have a photography book about urban exploring out called No Tracers, an urban explorer's diary. If you want to pick up a copy of that, read my blog, see my photography, or watch some of my videos, head to notracers.com. If you want to watch a video version of this episode with my guests' photos, actually you can head to the Just the Letter K YouTube channel, and you can see like a slideshow situation with an audio visualizer, and you can listen to the podcast on YouTube. Wherever you want to listen to it, it's available for you. The last thing I need to let you know about is that we have a partner on this podcast, and that is Liquid Death Water. I've actually made an ad for you in 3, 2, 1. From the streams of the Austrian Alps comes a new kind of water. A water that is sure to raise you from your grave. If you're tired of buying cases of plastic water bottles that contain carcinogens and God knows what else, or if you're trying to lower your waste footprint, Liquid Death comes in beautifully rugged aluminum cans. Murder your thirst with a can of Liquid Death. Check the link in the description and use code JustTheLetterK at checkout for 10% off your order. Liquid Death. Murder your thirst. So if you would like 10% off your order of Liquid Death Water, head to liquiddeath.com and use code JustTheLetterK for 10% off. I think you actually have to buy like a set of koozies as well. So your water, you can get one case, you can get 50 cases of water. You also have to get a koozie set. It's like 2 koozies for your water cans, and you can get your 10% off. They just recently added that onto the promotion, so that's how you get your 10% off. Thanks, guys, for listening. Let's jump into this episode with Abandoned Playground. Please introduce yourself and how long you've been exploring to the No Tracers audience.
Hey, I'm Abandoned Playground, and I've been exploring for about 2 years.
Amazing. So what got you into exploring in the first place? What made you catch this crazy bug?
To be honest, boredom. I started when I was in high school. Me and my friends went to this local abandoned asylum that everyone really knows about, and we explored it, and I just fell in love with it, to be honest. I was the only one that kept going back like several times. I explored every building, every inch of every building, and yeah, that's how I got into it.
So take me more into that first exploration, like the first time you stepped foot on the property. Like, what was that like for you, and what made you like want to go back?
It was a little nerve-wracking because, I've never done it before, and I know like it's trespassing, stuff like that. So being there was, I don't know, it was weird. Like I remember asking someone I knew like where to park. Like I didn't know if I had to park far away, and they're like, "Oh, you could park right in front." And I was skeptical, but then I go there and it's a state park, so you could park and stuff. So we get out, we're walking around like every building trying to find a way in, and like the first building we found a way into was like this tiny window, and there's like 6 or 7 of us, and we're like going in. It was just a mess. But it was like thrilling at the same time, so it was fun.
And do you prefer to explore alone or with people? Because like that first one, you said you had like 6 people with you. That's a lot of people to go into an abandoned place.
Yeah, I've never done it since then. Like looking back, that was really, really, really stupid. But I always prefer to be at least with 2 other people, 3 other people at most.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm similar in that aspect. You know, I hate exploring alone. I don't hate it, but it's definitely more nerve-wracking because like you really you're
Yeah.
exposed, completely exposed and vulnerable to any kind of situation that you could run into.
Exactly. Like I have done it before. I've been alone, and I kind of enjoyed it because I go at my own pace. I don't have to worry about anyone else. But yeah, there is that factor. Like you are all by yourself in like an unsafe environment when you really think about it.
Yeah. For you, when did photography and I know you do some stuff on YouTube as well. So when did photography and videography come into play for you? When did you pick up a camera?
Um, I've always like me and my friends always made like stupid like videos when we were growing up. I'm actually a film student currently, so I wanted to practice before I went into college at the time, and that was like the perfect place to do it because I'm also like a horror junkie. Abandoned hospital was perfect. So it kind of started right away. Like the first time we were there, I was recording everything on my phone and taking horrible pictures, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we all start with the shitty phone photography, but I mean, some people have perfected like iPhone photography. Like my last guest only shoots on his iPhone, but I mean, he does have like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, so it's like
Oh, perfect. It's like a
basically
camera
a
in
camera.
itself. Yeah, it's got everything.
Exactly. So,
Mhm.
speaking of like gear and stuff, can you tell everyone like what kind of camera you use and some of your gear recommendations for people that are just getting into the hobby? And this can be things like the shoes you wear on your feet or the backpack you carry your stuff in or a light,
Yeah.
anything like that.
All right. To be honest with you, I'm the worst person to ask that because I always say it and I joke with people I like meet up with and stuff. Like I'm the most unprepared urban explorer ever. Um, but with my camera, I shoot with a Sony A7 Mark III, and I think it's perfect. It was an investment, to be honest. I bought it when I was like 19. Um, so it was an investment, but it's definitely worth it. And I don't know, just a regular pair of boots, make sure they're non-penetrable, waterproof, so you don't get like your feet messed up. Um, I use a regular backpack to be honest, and it does the trick. It holds all my stuff and it's perfect. So yeah,
Nice. Do you have any urban exploration injury stories that you can share?
nothing too crazy, but yeah, I have messed myself up. I like split my head open once. I was in these like tunnels. And the way they worked, there was these four buildings that connected to each other through the underground tunnels, and we were walking through the tunnels. And to get up into the building, it was like a little ledge you had to get up onto. It was like a foot and a half off the ground. So I grabbed the railing, uh, went to pull myself up. I turned my light off. I was the first one to do it. I pull myself up, and boom! I smashed my head on this electrical panel door, and like it made a loud noise, and right next to us the lights are on in like the tunnels. It connected right to an active building. Um so the sound of me hitting my head echoed down the tunnels, so I didn't even focus on the fact that my head was like hurt very bad and bleeding. I was more worried that someone hurt us, so we immediately went up into the building. I like put my hand on my head, looked, there was blood on my hands and stuff, and I was like, oh great. But it was like the last building, so I just stayed and we did it, and then I left. The person I was with is actually like an EMT, so he looked at it, we got it cleaned up, and it was all good, believe it or not.
So what you're saying is we should all explore with EMTs.
If you have access to an EMT friend, I definitely recommend it.
That's
Definitely
fantastic.
recommend it.
Can you talk
Hmm.
about the mentality of an urban explorer? Like, what makes you do this? Like, what do you get out of it?
For me, I love to just see these places. I love to admire them. Just it's crazy when you really think about it, like where you are, whether it be like an abandoned movie theater, an abandoned hospital, abandoned theater, church, anywhere. It's just incredible to look at it, and just admire it. It's crazy to also see what these places leave behind because you'd really be surprised like what you see in these places, like that they just leave, and also getting the perfect shot for me. I love like I'm learning photography while doing this. Like I'm no expert. I've only been doing it like about 2 years now. And just getting the perfect shot, and seeing what I could do with my shots from these places. It's just the thrill of it.
Absolutely. And I mean, from looking at your photography, like you're definitely getting better. Like you can see like your progression over time, which I think is so cool to see, especially with
Thank
platforms
you.
like Instagram and stuff like that, Like it's the
Hmm.
natural progression of things. So, yeah, kudos to you for not only like learning photography during this process, but using it as a way to enhance your skills as a filmmaker. I'm a film major myself. I have a bachelor's in film production, and I freelance
Oh,
full time as a videographer and video editor. So I think it's super cool that
hmm.
you're learning that as well along the way. So yeah, kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you talk about your scariest exploration? This can be a run in with people, or this could be, I don't know if you believe in paranormal things. It can be one of those kind of
Yeah.
stories. So yeah, scariest
Mhm.
exploration.
Scariest. It was probably last summer. Um, I was with one of my friends. We hit this hospital. It's not too hard, like too far from me. It's like a good hour away. And we tunneled to the oldest building there. It closed in like the 70s. It was sick. Um, we were exploring in there or whatever, and I had my light on above my camera the whole time. And I'm looking down the hallway, and I wish I was recording. I see something pass over my light, because my light was reflecting off of a glass like door at the end of the hallway, and I see something pass over it. So I see it, but I ignored it. Then I see it again, so I turn off my light. I tell my friend to turn off his light, and I'm just pointing over there, and I'm telling him like just stay still, and I'm like just look over there. And we watch this dude just get up, and he's just pacing back and forth in the room. It was a homeless guy that lives there, I'd assume, and he was just pacing back and forth, and then he was gone for a little bit, and like I was ready to go. Like I just wanted to turn around, maybe go to a different part of the building or tunnel out, go somewhere else, because I had no interest in like talking to him, just because of like the environment, like where we were. It just was not a good area. And he came out into the hallway from a different room. He was just looking at us, so we turned around, we just got out of there. My friend kind of bugged out, so he ran. We were in the tunnels, and then we were so like frazzled from it, we ended up getting lost in the tunnels. So we had to turn around and like go back, retrace our steps. We found the way, and we had to like shimmy in between two pipes to get to the other building that we were in. And I took my friend's light, I shined it down the tunnel, and I just see a silhouette of a guy like standing down there and looking at us
Ugh.
again. But we couldn't see like him, but he was watching us, so he must have been following us. And yeah, that was really it, because we went back to the last building, continued exploring, and left, and that was it. But yeah, it was scary. It
Yeah,
was like
when they
definitely
don't
not.
talk, like that's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole time he was just following us and we had no idea.
Wow. Oh man.
Mm.
So over the past year and a half, we've obviously been going through a very rare occurrence of a pandemic. Have you been
Mm-hmm.
exploring during this past year and a half? And if so, can you talk about some of your favorite explorations?
Oh, definitely. I'd say like not at first during the pandemic. The first like month or two, I was kind of just chilling out. Um, but once it started getting long term, yeah, I that's when I really started exploring and going everywhere and seeing these places. Um, I've seen pretty much everything you see on my Instagram that's not like a Long Island spot I saw during the pandemic. Like I've been to an abandoned neighborhood, which is crazy, over 200 homes. Um, I've tried to see like every hospital that there is in New York State. Um, Movie theaters, churches, everywhere. Like just tried to see as much as I can during the pandemic, and it's been amazing. I've loved it, like every second of it. Just like going on a trip. Where are we going today? Oh, we're going to New Jersey. We're going to Connecticut, and we're there all day, seeing like three, four, five different places in a day. It's just crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I there's so much stuff in like the Northeast that I want to go see that I just haven't had the time to get up there,
Mhm.
And like you guys have so much shit up there. It's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. There's a lot of great places, especially I feel like I'm just spoiled in New York because I feel like New York just has so many like great places, especially hospitals. Like we just
Mm-hmm.
crazy hospitals in New York.
Definitely. Do you have a favorite history of a place? We do a lot of research when it comes to, yeah, exploring these abandoned places. Do you have a favorite place that has like some crazy history?
Of course, it's the local asylum near me. First place I ever explored. I made a whole documentary on it. Actually, I spoke to the former employees, and basically their story was told about like their lives there. Some of them actually live there, and just I didn't cover the history as much because it's been covered so much. It's a very very well known place. But I got like a different perspective from the employees and stuff, and yeah, that place it's just the most interesting to me.
That's awesome. I'll be sure to drop a link in the description to that documentary if it's on your YouTube channel.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like the second video I put up.
Perfect. And can you talk about social media a little bit? Like, what has that done for you as a creator, as an explorer?
Social media is just a great place, believe it or not, to connect with people. You know, I've met so many cool people in the exploring community just from Facebook or Instagram, and it's a great place to promote your stuff. You know, I promoted my documentary. My doc has like 6,000 views now, all just from promoting it on my Instagram and on Facebook. Social media is just like a great place to do that. I think, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's great for connecting. I mean, that's how I've found all these different guests for this show is just DMing people on Instagram. It's an awesome way to
Hmm.
connect, and I've since been able to meet up with some of the guests that I've had. Like I recently met up with Abandoned Nashville and Big Banks, and we did some
Oh wow.
exploration in Nashville together. We hit this like school and we tried to hit a house, but there was an alarm system, so that didn't work out. But it's cool to like be able to
Yeah,
connect with people and then eventually like meet up with them like after everything starts opening up again, like as it is now. Like I really want to get a group of my podcast guests together to go explore somewhere, like even if it's like a place we have to rent out, like in Philly there's the abandoned prison there and you can like rent it out for the night. Like I would think it would be sick to get a group of people to
oh,
like
that's awesome.
just go hang out and explore and network there. So it's kind of the plan for
That would be
maybe
really
like
cool.
October or something, but we'll see what happens. Do you have any
Yeah, that's
bucket
awesome.
list items, like goal places that you want to visit?
Oh yeah. There's this hospital in way upstate New York. Um, it's Kirkbride. Half of it is now a hotel. You've definitely heard of it. Um, and half of it is abandoned. I was in Buffalo back in April, and we were very stupid. We didn't pre-dawn it for some reason because we were only there for like a day or two, and we had other plans. Like we had to stick to a schedule if we wanted to do what we wanted to do, and we didn't take into account that this like the fence and the front end, like the entrance was right in front of us, and we could have done it. It was just, oh god, if I pre-dawned it, we could have done it.
Mm,
But one day I hope to get there again.
definitely. And then if
Hmm.
you could live in one of the places you've explored for a week with no hassle, not getting in trouble, like comfortably live in a place you've explored for 1 week, which place would it be?
Hmm. Probably like a house or a mansion that I've explored, like a nice looking house or mansion. Chill out there for a week, make it inhabitable and stuff, or habitable.
Love that. Yeah, I haven't done
Yeah.
a whole lot of like mansions. Like that's something that I haven't that's like untapped for me and like I'm super interested in like going into some of those.
Oh yeah, there used to be one out east. I live on Long Island. There used to be one out east, and it was awesome. A bunch of like YouTubers made videos on it, like Urbex and Chill, Dark Exploration. They made YouTube videos on it, and it was just such a nice like mansion, and it was just demoed on
Mm,
Halloween of all days. Last Halloween,
damn. And then
it was awesome.
what's the farthest you've traveled to explore so far?
Hmm. Probably Probably to Buffalo. It's probably like the farthest. It was a good like 7.5 hour, 8 hour drive. Um, so yeah, that was probably the farthest for me. Um, wait, no, that's a lie. Um, back in 2019, me and my girlfriend at the time went to Puerto Rico, and I explored a bunch of abandoned tanks, like World War II tanks that are on like this island. It was actually pretty cool. So technically, that's the farthest for me.
Wait, there's an island of tanks? What?
All right, so I'll dive into the
Please.
history. It's not. It's like it's an island off of Puerto Rico. It's called Culebra, and back during World War II, the United States used to do like training there, and they test out like the tanks and stuff. The people that lived on the island didn't like that. They revolted against the U.S. Army, and the U.S. Army ended up pulling out of the beach, but they left all these tanks like along the coast. So you could literally just walk along the beach and you'll just see this big World War II tank just sitting there decaying, and it's crazy.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
nuts. Okay, so I guess I got to go to Puerto Rico. Okay.
go for it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in general.
Yeah,
So
I've seen. I would love to like eventually buy a house out there and like rent it out as like Airbnb. Like I think that'd be the move for sure.
yeah, that is the move. Make some money, then you go and you want to go enjoy a nice
Yep.
vacation. It's perfect.
Exactly, exactly. Cool. So, my last question for you is what is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started exploring?
Oh man, that's a tough one actually. Um, I don't know. To be honest, I'm
You're good.
sorry.
You're good. That question kind of gets everybody.
Yeah, that's a good question though, because it's really making me think. Something I wish I knew.
Like a piece of advice for your
Um,
former self, something like that.
just be careful. Like I think back at like other explores that I've done, especially like earlier on, and I could have gotten myself in a really bad situation. Um, like health wise and with the police and stuff. Just be careful because at the end of the day, like it is technically trespassing and stuff. So always be careful. And watch your back, stuff like that. Just be careful.
Absolutely. So, if
Mhm.
people want to continue following your journey, where can they find you online? Drop your Instagram, your YouTube channel, all that stuff.
Yeah, Instagram for the most part. I post like at least once a day, once every other day. That's where they could find me. And like, yeah, just Instagram.
Perfect.
YouTube, I just every spot I go to, I like to record for the most part, just so I can remember it and like I'll put it together. I'll make like a little YouTube video out of it. So you can find me on YouTube too.
All right, guys, that was my episode with Abandoned Playground. If you want to check out his photography, I have linked his Instagram below as well as his YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. If you're new to the show, please hit the subscribe button. And if you've been listening for one episode or over 50 episodes now, thank you. Could you please leave a rating and feedback on the show? It helps us grow, helps us find a broader audience of listeners just like you. My name is Kay. You can find me at no.tracers on Instagram, no tracers on TikTok, or just the letter K on YouTube. If you guys want to check out my blog or see my photos or videos, you can also go to notracers.com. I'll talk to you next week for another episode of No Tracers. If you want to be on the show, hit me up at no.tracers on Instagram and we will get you on the calendar. Stay strong, keep enduring, go out, go explore something, and remember, leave no trace.